Well, what do we got going on today? Well, we got the sports lunch today. We got hoops on the road this weekend, right down the road at Shadron at Metro. Track and field's heading back up to Black Hills State again. Esports is yet to be determined on who we play, or I'm sure Wyatt will let you know here who we're at, who we're playing. Volleyball, football, and soccer starting their individual workouts and getting bigger, faster, stronger, and smarter in our off-season non-championship workouts. Golf program. If you haven't gone in and taken a look at that indoor facility that our golf program that Coach Roy has put together, I highly suggest you do it. It is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The feedback that you can get on how crappy of a golfer you are after taking 2 or 3 swings is fantastic. Speaking of golf, the Mines Masters Alumni Golf Tournament is in Scottsdale, Arizona at Legend Trail on Sunday, April 7th. Shotgun start at noon. Larry's going to be going down with Marie and I to do some alumni visits in Tucson, Arizona, Phoenix, greater Phoenix area. So we're looking forward to that. And I don't know about you, but I would like to be down there right now after looking outside. We'll have Alumni Weekend April 12th, where we're going to have golf out at Red Rock, and then we'll have our football showcase and a social that Friday night. I believe that's at Thirsties. We'll get the times nailed down here real soon. And then Saturday, April 13th, we've got our home track meet, the Bauer Invitational. And I'd like to thank everybody who contributed to the Daniel Vaughn scholarship. To date, we have raised $30,000 for a men's basketball scholarship in Daniel's name. That was a special night. That was a really good deal. So, enough of my chatter, and let's get Wyatt up here, and he can chat about what took place this weekend and what we got coming forward. Thanks.
Alright, how's it going, everyone? So, over the weekend we played IUPUI, which is Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis. And once again, we fell in a 3-game series, which it feels bad losing in game 3, but being able to take game 2 and consistently make the full 3-game series has us feeling pretty good about our level of competition and that we're able to push these teams and we're not necessarily just losing 2-0 every weekend. So we're getting some wins and we're hoping to bounce back this weekend against Concordia University, Wisconsin. So I think our odds are a lot better this weekend. We're looking to pick up our first win in the last few weeks, so that'll feel good. So I do have some highlights for you guys today from game 2 of our best of 3 over the weekend. So this is going to be a learning experience for a lot of us, so I'm going to try to explain it as we go. And Brad, you can go ahead and start the highlights. Alright, so here's our mid laner, Yuki. We are the red team, so we have the red health bars. I believe Yuki just gets a 1v1 here in the mid lane. Here we'll see him go in. So this is just like a 1v1 outplay, which is pretty special when it happens. So Yuki picks up a nice kill there. Then here in the top lane, another 1v1 outplay by our top laner, Sam Nesbitt. So he picks up a nice solo kill.
Yeah, great.
So that sets us up, and if you look at the top, us on the right, we have 5 kills going in, and they had 1, so. And then all of a sudden they came back, so now they're at 10. And this is a good team fight in the middle of the game that kind of brought us back in. There's a whole lot going on, but just know that we come out ahead in this one, and this really set us up to take this game away. So, once all is said and done right there, we picked up 4 kills and they only grabbed 1. So this gave us a lot of momentum to start pushing forward and grabbing structures. So the name of the game is pushing forward, grabbing these turrets, and eventually capturing their whole base. So we'll see that as we move on. here, this is the Baron. So it's called a Baron power play once you capture this objective. So the enemy team is now on it trying to secure it, but we close in and actually push them off of this objective if you watch close. So blue team's still trying to whittle it down, and we have Avery Schroer and Sam Nesbitt walk in. We successfully push them off of that objective, and then we actually felt confident enough to start it up ourselves. So we'll see that here. So our team walks in and we say, hey, they're backing off. We might be able to just start this up ourselves. So we go in, and then a team fight breaks out. We actually get the Baron, and then we win this team fight right after. So it's kind of just mayhem breaking out. Our jungler Alex Mathias had a really good play right there to take out their best player. So there, we'll see there's Sam Nesbitt and Lawrence Hartnett right there picked up that kill. And then they have this 2v2 in the mid lane here erupts. So we'll see things kind of calm down here. The two opposing players, and here's Sam Nesbitt and Lawrence. And then the opposing team actually tries to go in for a 2v2 on us, and we just completely wiped them out, which felt really good. So yeah, for some reason they thought they could go for that play, and we take them down there. So that felt really good, and then we pushed forward and got a couple more towers after that one. All right, so here's a play where our mid laner, Yuki Lewis, we thought he got picked out, so there we see him fall. But actually, he had baited the rest of their team into a team fight, so now all of the Hardrockers move on forward, and we actually just wiped them out there after our mid laner kind of like baited them into a position that was unadvantageous for them. So there you see them retreating to their base. And then this is kind of the final team fight of the game. Here we're trying to capture the Elder Dragon objective. We grab that. They didn't really have a choice but to try and go in and steal that. But once we grabbed that, we just kind of cleaned them up. So we grabbed 3 kills there for 0. And then we just run down the mid lane. And I think I had this just play out to kind of show you guys how a game actually closes out here. So we took them off the map, and now we just run it down mid. We capture the rest of these towers, take out their inhibitor here, and there's not a whole lot they can do at this point because 3 of their members are down waiting to respawn, so we felt we could just go ahead and close the game out from this point. So yeah, we ended up destroying their nexus there and grabbed game 2. Unfortunately, in game 3, we did fall, but you know, I think our players are a lot better after that 3-game series. So, any questions?
Coach Larsen? This might sound funny, but it's a heartfelt question.
Yeah.
Are there referees in that game? It seems like there's a lot of intentional and personal.
There aren't any referees. Yeah, each of the teams are kind of just held accountable. There are some ways that teams could, cheat, but most teams are, they hold themselves accountable. Actually, the league that we compete in, if any of these teams are found to be cheating, they just publicly shame the full team, which is good to see. So just over the weekend, I think there was 3 teams that were disqualified, and they post your whole team roster, first and last name, and just publicly shame you in front of the whole community. So cheating is not something that really happens.
How many players are playing at one time?
So we have 5 starting players, so it's 5 versus 5. Yep. And then you can sub in players in between games. So you have we played a best of 3, so after that first game that we lost, we could have subbed the player in for game 2, and so on.
Can the coach get a technical ball?
I don't think so. There is no coaching during the game though, so when all that's happening, the players are completely making all those decisions themselves. So there's no coaching allowed at that point.
So the average length of the game is?
About 30 minutes. So that game was around 35 minutes. No timeouts in between.
Did I hear you say that one of the other luncheons that they scout these other teams? And how do you do that?
Yeah, so we can search up So when you log into League of Legends, you have your own account, right? So we can search the accounts of the opposing team, see what type of strategies they put forth. We can also see if their team has played together at all and see, just essentially where they feel comfortable, where we can kind of catch them off guard. And that's kind of how our scouting was really good going into this weekend. And I think that's what we have to thank for grabbing that game too in that series. But they lane swapped 2 of their players. So they switched positions. So that kind of threw us off. And yeah, we didn't really scout for that to happen. So, I mean, there's a whole lot of things in hindsight I think we could have done better, but we're just going to keep those in mind when we move forward to this weekend.
So do you start the game with your characters having set attributes, or are you building them up over time like you learn more RPGs?
Yeah, so everyone's character starts at level 1 at the start of the game, and then as you gain advantages, you'll acquire gold, which you can spend on items, makes your character more powerful.
So within the game, you're building your character. You don't have like a character you're off the character off, waiting to unleash that stuff.
Yep, everyone pretty much starts from the same level at the start of the game. Great. Any more questions? All right, thanks for listening, guys.
Good job, Wyatt. Big job. Our next presenter today is Coach Johnson. He's going to come up and talk about track and field.
All right, well, thank you. Well, last time I saw you guys, we were getting ready to head out to Mankato with some of our sprinters and jumpers and a few throwers, and it was everything we thought it would be and more. They had over 850 athletes in the meet. It took until 9 o'clock at night to get done, but we got some stuff done. We walked out of there with 7 PRs, a new school record in the pole vault. Erica went, had to bring it with me so I didn't forget. She went 12:11 and a half. That's higher than some of the guys cleared, to be honest. Not our guys. But.
How's that set nationally?
So that, right now, last I looked, she was sitting 4th in the nation. She was over the next height, which would have been the automatic qualifier for nationals. She should be good as far as getting into nationals goes. But getting that auto is just kind of that nice little safety net for her right now. She was over it and just barely brushed it with her chest on the way down. So she just needs to keep going after it. I mean, she's been there time and time again. She'd gotten that would have put her at number 2 in the nation. And then Adeline Stratmeyer helped us close out the day in the 3K with a school record there as well. She ran 10:28, took 5 seconds off of the school record that she set as a sophomore. So if that gives you any idea how hard it is to come back and beat one of those once you put one out there. That, at the time, had her as high as 19th in the conference. She's now sitting 22nd or 23rd in the RMAC. Out of state, to give you an idea, has 10 women in the top 12. We're hoping they don't run all of them in there so that she can get in. But we won't know that for a little while. And then she finished 5th overall in that race, running against a number of, there was one unattached athlete and then a couple of girls from Augie that were ahead of her, and I don't know where the other girl was. But very, very competitive distance races. We got exactly what we were looking for. And then in the 4x4 to close out the day, the men's team came out. They ran what converted into their fastest time of the season to date, or to that date, I should say. Mankato had exactly what we expected. They had extremely competitive teams and put up a really good run. But was a really good confidence builder for a lot of our kids going into the next weekend, and gave some of them a little bit more experience too, having the big field sizes before we got to SDSU, where things got even bigger. The SDSU meet takes 2 days to complete for a reason. At Mankato, to give you an idea, I think combined they had 23 heats of the 200 between men and women. At SDSU, it was 37. So, you know, that's one of those that's just really, really difficult to try and get in and figure out exactly the timing of the meet, time your warm up just right. But we do the best that we can. In the field events, we weren't quite as sharp at SDSU as we hoped to be. Erica finished third there, but she only went 12-2 this time. The good thing is that she beat the vaulter who's ranked #1 in the RMAC right now, Jordan Hunnicky, who's up at Black Hills State. So that's a good thing, giving her a little more confidence going into the RMAC next week. On the track though, we got a lot done. We saw 27 PRs, 6 school records, and 5 top 5 finishes out of the weekend. And that was going against competition from Division I schools in North and South Dakota, going against pretty much every Division II school in North Dakota, South Dakota, and half of Minnesota. And so we got to see some really, really good competition. On Friday night, we had the 600s. We saw Erica Westerman come away with the school record in the 600. She took it by roughly half a second. She ran a 1:38 compared to the old record of 1:39 that was set just a couple of years ago, and Erica was a sophomore, I believe. So that was a good thing getting us started. Then Andy Ferris came out in the men's 600, took 2 seconds off of that school record. So that gave him the lead going into the next day when they both broke school records again, their own school records. Andy wound up 5th overall in the 800. He ran a 1:53 in the 8, moved him up another spot in the RMAC, and missed again the qualifying mark for nationals by less than 3/4 of a second. So a little bit of disappointment there, but 1:53 is a full second and a half faster than what he ran last year at the same meet. So we're in a really good spot with that. And then Erica Westerman kind of stole the show in my mind because she came out and she took her school record that's on the board out here. I haven't had time to change it yet. It's 2:23. She ran 2:15. She came through when she ran the 600 the night before, I kind of pulled her aside and said, hey, look, this is what you can do if you just balance your race a little better. Well, so she did. Instead of going out 49, she went out 51. She runs 51, and she went through the first 400 meters, and she hits the home straightaway on the backside. It's a 300-meter track. So I'm diagonal across the track from her, and all of a sudden I see this blonde ponytail just cranking its way up the field. And she gets to us, and she doesn't stop. She just keeps moving. She went from, I think, at the 400, she was sitting almost last in her heat, and she finished 2nd overall in her heat with a time that moved her from 22nd in the RMAC to 12th. She is a 2nd out of score at this point in the RMAC. So that is absolutely huge for us. It also left her, unfortunately, a 2nd off of the provisional qualifying mark, but I'll take a 7-second improvement. Adeline Stratmeyer came out in the mile, ran a 5:13 mile. That's her fastest mile ever by 10 seconds. So that was a huge improvement. And then we wrapped up the day in a really good fashion. We put a different 4x4 team together on the women's side than we've run all season. It took 6 seconds off of what we've run to put us down from a 4:20 to a 4:14. And then the men capped off the weekend for us in really good fashion. We went back to the team that we had at the conference meet last year outdoors, and they delivered. The old school record was a 3:20 and change, and we got there because one guy split a 47-second 400. This time we had 2 guys split 48s instead, and we ran 3:18. That moved us to 2nd in the RMAC in the 4x4. So we were really, really happy with what those guys got done, especially, and it was this close to not happening, because on the backside of the track, as the anchor legs were running, Mankato's team got knocked out of the race because somebody decided to try and scoot across the track between the runners, and she got smoked. And Jonathan was about this far behind the guy that took her out. So fortunately, I guess it's all that football he played when he was a freshman, because he was able to sidestep it and keep going and still split 48-4. So I guess it worked for him. So this weekend we're going to back up to Black Hill State. It's the last chance meet. So what we'll do this weekend for a lot of our kids, it's going to be their last chance to get their qualifying mark in their best event, to see if we can get them into the RMAC meet. For others, it may be their last chance to just get a good mark in an event for the season. And so we want to try and set those guys up for success. For those that are in the RMAC, we tend to do a little bit different things with them. A lot of times we may look at an off event and feel like it's going to help them with getting into the shape they need to be in for the next weekend. So, for example, with an 800 runner, we might put them into a 400 instead, just so that they can finally work on a little bit more turnover and just try and get that top end speed up just a little bit more as we go. So, it should be a good meet for us. It'll be hopefully a pretty quick one, and if we can, we'll try to sneak a couple more people in. Questions?
How many qualifiers do we have right now in the country?
You know, I'm glad I brought this page with me. As it sits right now, we would have people qualified, we would have 2 women qualified, in addition to relays. Relays automatically get in. And about 13 men. So, should be, and then we've got a slew of them sitting on the bubble right now. Some of that bubble, the bubble is always interesting, because the bubble isn't just do you hit the time. Sometimes you get in if you're a bubble person because people move out of an event to another event. So for example, in the distance races, we'll see this frequently, because trying to run the mile, the 800 and the 3K all on the same day within about 4-hour span is extremely difficult. And then you throw in being at 7,700 feet where you don't recover as well. Aside from a few that could win each of those, there aren't a whole lot of people that could do that and do it well. And so we'll see some people move out of a few of those events to try to prep for others. And so that's where we'll have the opportunity to slide a few more people in that may not already be in as well. Other questions? All right, thank you.
You guys aren't going to believe this, but Coach Larsen declined to talk today.
Right.
I mean, the faces, Coach, that are staring back at me right now, in utter disbelief.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring Coach Larsen up here.
I'm telling you, we're going to win 2 games one weekend yet this year. I'm going to walk up here, pick this mic up, and just drop it and walk out. It's going to happen. I guarantee you that. You know, like usually in the spring, when our season's over, I kind of get a little depressed and get bored because I don't have basketball anymore. But with Coach Roy's simulator, all right, and the Wyatt's little demonstration right there got me intrigued about some League of Legends, where I might have to go down there and try to figure that thing out too. So I'll be plenty busy. That's for sure. Good job, Wyatt. Keep the good work up. Coach Johnson as well. A good weekend for us. Anytime you go on the road and get a split, you know, that's kind of objective one. But I'll tell you, we certainly had a chance to get to. We really did. Start with Friday night. That trip is, as you've heard us say numerous times, is a really difficult trip. Right, football guys, that's a tough trip. 11 hours in the bus. You know, we've tried to do that thing a couple different ways, and there's no good way to do that trip. You know, this time we stopped in Pueblo and ate really well at Olive Garden. You know, I ate way too much. It was miserable for the rest of the 3 hours all the way down to Las Vegas. But just a difficult trip. you know, you get up in the morning and you do what we always do, stay to our routine, get through walkthrough, you know, try to get them up and down as much as we can, get back to the hotel, rest up, eat another good pregame meal. But you know, it's not like we didn't play bad, awful, anything like that. It was just tough to get going down there Friday night. You know, it's not a great atmosphere. The gym was really cold, not the greatest lighting, so your environment isn't great. You know, so the juice was really tough to get going that night. You know, the first quarter was a little slow, pretty slow start for us. You know, I'll give Highlands a lot of credits. You know, they made a lot of shots early. It kind of knocked us on our heels a little bit. And we were just a little tentative offensively, and so it was a slow start for us. Michaela Shackley really sparked us coming off the bench. She came in and banged home a couple threes in that first half and really got us going. And we just defended really well the rest of the way out. You know, we turned them over and got some opportunities out there, turnovers, which was great. And then the second half, we executed pretty darn well down the stretch and made enough shots to win the basketball game, which is always good. You know, you're never going to apologize for a victory, that's for sure. It wasn't for a lack of effort by any means. It wasn't for a lack of trying. It wasn't for that lack of not executing. It was a tough game. It's hard to get going. And Highlands played well, you know, for the most part. They took us out of some stuff, had us confused offensively a little bit. You know, they switched it up a lot between their man and their zone, had us confused there a little bit. But our kids made enough plays and just stuck to it, stuck to the game plan, and you know, just really gritted out a tough road win. So that was a good effort by us. Now, anytime you get a road win, again, you're not going to apologize for it. You're going to take it and get out of there and be really, really happy about it. One thing that was huge for us this trip, and I got to give all the thanks to Mr. Lukin for letting us do this, and the second time we've been able to do it this year, and it's been such a huge advantage for us, is we rode down to Pueblo with the men like we normally do, and then we were able to rent you know, kind of a smaller bus. It was a 15-passenger minibus per se. The bus was waiting for us right when the game was over. We grabbed our food, got on the bus, and headed up to Pueblo. And we were in bed by 10:30. And that's huge, to be able to get in bed and sleep really, really well, get up in the morning and have a nice breakfast and watch film and go to shoot around is a big advantage. That's it's advantage for the guys too. You know, talking to Coach Glenn about it, his guys are able to sprawl out in the bus. You know, not necessarily have to wedge up in the seats or anything like that. You know, so it helped them when they arrived at 1 a.m. Is that what it was? Something like that. So that was a great advantage for us. Yeah, we played better Saturday than we did Friday. All right, and a lot of that was I thought we were just quite a bit fresher. Saturday's game, it was a beauty. I tell you what, it was a beauty. I was really pleased with the way we played. We played fantastic. You know, I wouldn't say it was the greatest game to watch if you watched it online, because it wasn't a dynamic scoring game by any means, but it was a real tactical game where both teams executed their stuff pretty darn well, offensively and defensively. There was one mistake that we made throughout the entire game. And it was in the first half. Jenna Knopfel, probably one of the better players in the league, if not one of the best shooters. She's up there, I'd say, the top 2 shooters in the league. You can't leave her. You have to have eyes on her at all times. She hit a transition 3 in the first half, and then we lost her in our zone defense twice, where we didn't contest, didn't have her covered up, and she banged home 3 threes in the first half that really kind of put us in a bit of a hole at halftime. But that's it. That's the one complaint that we made mistakes. 3 possessions. That's going to be the difference in a lot of ball games right there. So that was not the one, but the 3 mistakes that we made there defensively. We really had them confused. We defended really, really well. It was a great defensive effort by our ladies. They followed a game plan tremendously well. That second half. We were down 12 at halftime, and I told the ladies, hey, don't look at the scoreboard. You guys don't realize how close we are in this game, the way we played. We have played fantastic. Have we shot it well? Not really. Okay, haven't scored it real well, but we were defending. And if we can get our offense going that second half, we'll get back into this thing. In the entire second half, it was a 2 to 4 possession game the entire time. We were getting stop after stop after stop. We'd come down. I'll say it, we did play better. We got better shots than they did. Problem was they just didn't go in. I can't tell you how many balls were just lying on the rim and just kind of rolled up, right, Rusty? From layups to jumpers, And the other thing about that is we made a number of plays that we hadn't made all year. You know, I talked about us not finding scoring opportunities in our offense and not being the best passing team. Well, we passed the best we had all year. You know, we found some scoring opportunities within our offense that we've been working on the entire season that we finally got to in this game. There was a few of those where we made the play, and there was a few of those where we didn't make the play and turned it over, but at least it was the right pass. And I could live with that. It was the right pass, and they were really good plays. You know, so it was a really good basketball game. We had our opportunities though, but I'm very, very pleased. You know, I was more pleased with the way we played Saturday than we did Friday. You know, that's a tough pill to swallow when you actually, you know, you don't play well and win a game, then you play really well and lose a game. That's tough to swallow, but those are big strides for us right now. And the way we competed that game was just phenomenal. I hope you guys got a chance to watch it. It was one of the best just efforts I've watched. Our ladies responded so well from the week before. It was a beauty of a game to watch. I had a lot of fun coaching that game, and despite the loss, I know our kids were really proud of the way we played too. You know, some really good individual performances. You know, first and foremost, Taylor Molstead was the best player on the floor Saturday night, and it wasn't even close. You know, I give our kids, obviously, a lot of credit to Taylor for scoring 27 points, but I give our kids a lot of credit when I talk about, you know, us finding scoring opportunities. They knew Taylor was hot, and we got her the ball, and we set screens for her, and she got shots that, you know, she can make within the flow of her offense, where it wasn't just having to ad-lib and go create something. So that was a big part of her 27 points. A lot of, Taylor would say that same thing, a lot of credit to her teammates for executing her offense the way we did to get her those shots. She was unbelievable. It was a fantastic show. Those aren't just my words. I would have said it regardless, but my friends here said that the Pueblo radio announcer said that Taylor Molstead was the best player on the floor too, so I can say that confidently now. But what an unbelievable performance by her part. Another young lady that played really well was Anna Combalia. She's getting a little burst back now, and she played with a really good pace to herself. She played attacking basketball, you know, 94 feet, getting to the rim, kicking out, you know, putting pressure on the defense, coming off ball screens really, really nicely. That was huge for us. You know, Anna hasn't played well as of late, factors I'm not going to get into, but you can see she's starting to get that speed back, a little bit of burst, and with that comes some confidence, because that's her game. She's a tremendous ball handler, change of direction, change of speed type kid. That was big for us, so great performance on her part, and well, we really loved her up after that game for the way she played. But really good performance on everybody's part throughout the weekend. You know, if we could have just had a couple more players, 1 to 2 more players on Saturday, make a few more shots, I would have dropped this mic when I walked up here for sure, because we were that close to getting a road sweep. You know, we got, after the game on Saturday, we said, hey, we got 2 weekends left. We got a road weekend, we got a home weekend. And I would love to get, you know, one of the two, a road sweep or a home sweep. What the heck, you know, let's make it both. And that's kind of where we're at right now, small goals. Small goals, let's go execute, let's keep getting better, let's keep competing the way we are, and go achieve those things. And our kids are really fired up to do that. We had a good little workout today. Kids were, you know, after that long trip, we're talking to Christina Burke, our athletic trainer, and Coach B, and it's not Coach Bonlander anymore. I failed to say this at the beginning, but down in Mexico Highlands, Hope's new name is Coach Budlander. So, reminder for you there. It's not Bonlander anymore, Coach Budlander. Thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, we decided to take 2 days off in a row, getting home at 8:30 in the morning on Sunday. We took yesterday off and a little light workout today, and we'll get back at it tomorrow. Kids are chipper today. 2 days off in a row is really good for them. Looking better, energized, and we're ready to rock and roll. Get back to the gym tomorrow morning for practice. Brad, you got some clips for us? This is from the Highlands game. A lot of possessions in the second half, which is good, because that was definitely our better half for sure. There's Melissa Johnstone with a big smile on her face, ready to get that tip, even though she didn't get it. She's ready to go. Here's a really nice, this is something Sammy's really added to her game. Nice little pull-up jumper there, attacking to close out. Really nice attack here again by Sammy. Kick out to Shaq. Gets a really nice friendly roll there. Shaq hit 3 big threes that game to really get us going. Hey, this is a really well executed set by our kids. You Sammy just hit a 3 the possession before. We're going to get her the rock again. Really nice secondary high-low from Anna Haugen and Molly McCabe. Great seal by Molly there. Big basket, as you can see at the scoreboard. Here they're in their zone. We execute a really nice zone set. Anna rips it down the lane line exactly like she should and gets it to the rim. Another very big play for us there. Here's just a tremendous hustle play. The game's kind of in hand, but Taylor gets the steal, and this is a big-time move here. Man, that's impressive. That was a big-time move. Her just really competing. There we got 8 seconds on the clock. You can see me sitting on the bench. Finally look up. Oh, it's over. Let's get out of here. Let's get on that bus and get to Pueblo. But good weekend. Really, really proud of the way we competed. And even more so, we just played really good basketball. And if we can continue to bottle that up, I really like our chances going forward. This weekend, back on the road again, Chadron. As you know, we just played them not too long ago, as you all know, and I talked about how tough they are to play down in Chadron. All their games have been close there, you know, so that's definitely not going to be easy. You know, they know we're going to play zone. Both teams that they played last weekend played just about 40 minutes of zone for them against them, so I'm sure they'll have something different for us, obviously. So we'll have to be prepared to tweak our zone defense a little bit, but just to continue to. You know, I love our defense right now. I really do. Our kids are doing a great job, but the goal is to outscore your opponent. So that's kind of our focus right now, is to continue to really run good offense. And then a team that got after is pretty good here, a good LJ's team on Coach Felderman floor. You know, Metro, who's playing good basketball too. You know, they're playing. I don't know where they're sitting right now. I don't know where we're sitting right now, but I know they're playing for a playoff berth for sure. So they'll definitely be ready for us. And a team that always plays well at home. So challenging weekend for us for sure, but again, we keep trending upwards the way we are right now. I really like the way we're playing. Questions for me? No? All right. Save it for Coach Glenn, that's what I always say. Thank you guys for your support. If you got time to get down to Chadron on Friday, that would definitely help. But look forward to getting back to Rapid City in a couple weeks. Thank you.
I don't know if anybody had a clock on it, but that's a record, I think, unofficial time. 13 and a half. Larry had it going. Nice. Very nice. Hey, clean up today. Coach Glenn.
Well, thank you for coming out. Obviously, we had a good weekend as well. We were really looking forward to playing New Mexico Highlands the second time after we had such a good game with them here, and felt like we left some things on the floor that we could definitely improve upon. Our biggest thing is that they're such a good offensive team. We didn't want to give them extra possessions, because that's what we did here, and give them with 22 turnovers. We just gave away too many extra possessions, and unfortunately, we did not capitalize on that again. You give them a lot of credit. They're a heck of an offensive rebounding team, and they do put a lot of pressure on you. We had 12 first half turnovers, and so that was not a stat that we were very pleased with to start with. But on the flip side of it, you know, lo and behold, our offense has just really been clicking lately. We ended up shooting 66% for the game, and Coach Ralph at Pueblo told me, he goes, geez, 66% from the field and 62% from the three and 85% from the free throw line, and you lose. He goes, I don't think you should be coaching. And so, thanks, Ralph, appreciate that. But our guys, you know, they were obviously disappointed. It's a really good team that they are, but we felt like, you know, we really could have done a better job. You know, we gave up basically 24 extra shots to them, which resulted into 30 points. And that's basically like giving somebody a 30-0 run to start the game. And so that's awfully hard to overcome. And lo and behold, we almost did it, though. We were shooting the way we did. And we were doing a heck of a lot of good things offensively. And we really were doing some good things defensively. We were getting them to take a lot of the shots we wanted them to take. We were protecting the lane for the most part really well. They were hitting a couple threes, but really the reason those threes felt so bad is because we kept giving up the offensive boards, or we were turning the ball over that was resulting in the layups. And that's just really kind of a deflating feeling. But to give our guys credit, you know, like I said, they kept going down and being deliberate. They didn't panic on the offensive side to try to make up for some of those mistakes. And we kept hanging around. And I thought, still going right up into the last 5 minutes, I thought we had a chance to pull it through, but we just weren't able to do that. So moving on up to Pueblo, the next day, we start off, we talked about their post guy, and their post guy is a pretty balanced player. He can take it out to the three-point line, he can shoot it, he can drive it. We showed him a clip where he caught at the top of the key, and the opposing team, which was Colorado Springs, closed out to the wrong hand and let him go to his right hand right down the middle of the lane and dunk it. We said, okay, we can't let him do that. And so first play of the game, he catches at the top of the key, shot fakes us, goes right down the middle of the lane and dunks it. I said, oh my goodness, we haven't learned from last night yet. So, but thank goodness Troy Brady came out, hit a three, and kind of calmed the waters for us, and from that point on, we pretty much owned the game the rest of the way. Our guys really took control, really did a great job of protecting things in the lane. We did not give up much to them in the paint at all. It made them shoot a lot of shots that we wanted them to shoot. They contested them. Really flustered the post players with not really double teams, just kind of some digging, just trying to be pests to them. And it really affected them, I thought. And so, on their floor, they're a dangerous team offensively. And they've, I think the Colorado Mines, I was talking to the Colorado Mines coach, they had 14 threes on them. And so they can really be dangerous on their own floor. And we did a great job of getting out and contesting those shots as well. And to hold them to 66 points on their floor, I thought was a heck of a tribute to our guys and the effort that they put in. And then again on the offensive side, we shot 59% for the game. We ended up shooting 63% on the weekend. And I think it was just a couple months ago that I was up here saying, I know we can shoot better than we're shooting. And which got me curious, and today I usually don't do these kind of things, but I did go and look and see where we ranked in the conference in shooting. And in December, right before Christmas, we were about dead last in field goal percentage, and we're up to number 3 now in the conference. So, our guys have been putting in a lot of work. Coach T and Coach Ryan have been working a lot with our guys on understanding some of their shots. I think you'll see on the clips that will show you, we've been talking about a lot of our guys is not so much, sometimes not getting all the way to the rim, but finding out where you can shoot in space and knock down the shots that we're capable of shooting. And it's really improved. I think the shot selection has also improved our shooting percentage, let alone the fact that we're just shooting a lot, and that's starting to pay off as well. So we, and with another good weekend, and I think we've won now 5 of our last 7. People are starting to take notice a little bit. We've had 2 Player of the Weeks the last 2 weekends, and we got another one this week. Logan Eller's 2 and 3 weeks has got Defensive Player of the Week again. So great job by him. And as we tell our guys, though, those things don't happen if the team isn't being successful. And so, it's really a good team award when someone gets something like that. They put an individual's name on it, but it doesn't happen without teammates that are getting other things done and having success as well. So just congratulations to not only Logan, but to our players to be able to accomplish that, to get 3 now in 3 weeks is pretty good this time of the season. That means we're also relevant at this time, and that's always a good thing. And so for where we're sitting in the standings and stuff, we're just trying to keep our nose to the grindstone, not worry so much about where we sit. Just know that each game we got to just put forth our best effort and hopefully come out successful, and then at the end of the day we'll see where that winds up for us. But with that, Brad, got some clips for us. So they had a fun night. They had a kids' night. Rocky, the Denver Nuggets mascot, was there. She even shined Coach Triniple's head for him on the bench. And right off the bat, this is the first play, our first offensive play. Troy Brady hits that 3, and really I'd like to see Troy be a little bit more aggressive still than he is because he shoots the ball so well. Jack came in later on and hit another 3. We just had some nice inside-out kicks to our shooters. Like I said, our shooters are just really starting to knock the ball down, and that's a good example right there of a play by Jake Anastasia. Not getting all the way into the mess that's in the lane and pulling up into space and getting that shot off right there. And there's another kick over to Jake in the corner. Jake had obviously a great game, and he's done a great job of filling in for Alec here. And just had a really good weekend and had 18 points. He was our leading scorer in this game. This was a great play at the end of the half. Just had great poise, didn't panic, was on a bigger guy. Used a little pivot and a fake and the up and under to finish and to give us good momentum heading into the half. Mitch Zucker here gets started in the second half. Both nights he got in foul trouble early, so he didn't play as much in the first half, but here in the second half he came out and got it going right away. There was a 3 at the top of the key off one of our inbounds plays, and he just obviously continues to keep playing better and better. And really happy for him because I know it's a little frustrating for him early on. And there's Jake again, coming off one of our ball screens and doing a good job there. Tristan, you're keeping good poise again, not panicking with the ball. And Brady come by, I remember hearing him say, Brady say, man, I'm sure glad you came by to save me on that play. So, but that was a good heads-up play by Brady to come get it. And then again, little action, we like to run quite a bit right there to get that guard that shot on the backside. And then Damani making a great play here on a steal in an M1. And just a good effort all the way around by our team, as you can tell here. Again, Jake, just having poise with the ball. They try to get up and pressure him. Goes right by a guy, throws it up. This is a really nice play. And a good heads-up play by Logan, just to see Jake still moving towards the basket right there. So obviously, just a great win. Any win on the road, that's a tough place to play. You know, I actually watched the game, rewatched it last night on the Stretch Internet, and the radio guy, he's quite a character for Pueblo. And, he was very complimentary of our guys, and he even said we were good engineers, and Colorado obviously wasn't, so that was kind of nice of him to say as well. So, but any questions from anybody? Great. Well, we got 2 big games here coming up. Obviously, we head to Shattern. You know, since they played us, they have not won, but they were on the road. They're definitely a different team at home. I know this is that they're going to be really playing, as Coach Turnbull put it in our meeting, is they're going to be hungry because they've had a long couple of weeks here, and we were kind of one of the reasons why they had a long couple of weeks. So I know they haven't forgot that because that hasn't been that long ago. So I know our guys are going to be ready. They know that we're not overlooking or anything because we're both basically sitting in the same spots in the league, and I think it's going to be a great game. We really match up well with each other. It's going to be a heck of a battle. And then we got to turn around the next night and go down to Metro State, and I know they haven't forgotten what happened to them here either. That was kind of a heartbreaking one for them. But, you know, we've been there, so we didn't feel too sorry for them on it. But it's, their place is a tough place to play. It's going to be their homecoming. They don't have football, so they do homecoming in the wintertime. So I know it's going to be a great atmosphere down there to play them at that time. And so extremely athletic. They play Colorado Mines at 6 points on Mines' floor. They're big, they're strong, they're athletic, and they can really disrupt some things. And so for us, we just want to continue to keep going forward the way we've been going. We look forward to see what this weekend brings. Okay, thank you.
Coach Glenn's giving you all the stiff arm on the questions today. That's all right, though. I want to thank Lynn's Brothers Pizza for sponsoring today's luncheon. Next week, we're here, and we're having Pancheros, which is Larry's favorite lunch. Pancheros usually is. And I want to thank everybody for coming today, and thanks for coming and everything that you do for Hardrocker Athletics and South Dakota School Mines community. Your time at South Dakota School Mines is temporary. The Hard Rock life is forever. Enjoy your day. Thank you.